Hello everyone, I'm from the Office of Career Development and Community Engagement, and in today's presentation I will be going over some job search strategies as well as some tips and tricks to help you secure your job. So on today's agenda, which you can take with you after this presentation, is to figure out who you are and ways to make yourself stand out, identify where you want to work and where you can find those hidden jobs, to build your online presence, getting ready for the job search itself, and gathering some tips while you are searching and applying for those jobs. So the first is really starting small. The first is to figure out who you are and to get to know yourself. And the best way to do this is through VIPs. And VIPs include your values, interests, personality, and skills. And so gathering all this information, writing this down, you can really make some well-informed decisions which can increase your workplace happiness and your career path as well. The next is to know where you would like to work. And so, again, starting small, I got to conduct some research. You can look through some company websites that may interest you. You can look through job posting sites to maybe discover other organizations that may be of interest to you. Also, looking on social media is a great way to learn more about a company and even about any job openings as well. And another great way is through networking. And so why is networking so important? Networking is the #1 job lead source in today's workforce, so a lot of times it's about who you know. And so to begin networking, you want to build lasting professional relationships. And so where can someone begin to network? You can network really anywhere. You can network while you're at school, at a school event, of course at work or at an internship, really anywhere that you want to build a professional relationship with someone. And so who might you network with? Again, you can network with your peers, with your professors, or again, some individuals that you may not know already. And so how to network? The best way to start is with a 1-minute commercial, which is also known as an elevator pitch. And we have some examples and way to build your own on our career development guide found on page 26. The next is to have a curious attitude. So again, ask questions, learn more about the individual, their organization, where they're working, and how they decided maybe to pursue their career. And along with asking those questions, you want to be receptive and answer those questions. Again, this is a two-way street in terms of building a relationship. And you also want to have some business cards. This is a great way for the individual to follow up with you or to learn more about you or to reach out to you. And then once you've finished networking with this person, you want to follow up and share some more information. Make some plans to get together again and to learn more, and of course keep expanding your network. And while you're networking, the biggest thing is you never want to explicitly ask for a job. You'll usually get a no as a response, so a way to, again, demonstrate some interest is asking for AIR, and that is advice, information, and some referrals. This is an example of a 1-minute commercial or an elevator pitch. That's a great way to begin your networking by explaining who you are, what you're doing, and what you hope to pursue as well. And when you're networking, it's not always necessarily professional specific to their organization or what they're doing. It can, again, be some small talk, but know your boundaries and know what taboo topics to avoid. Still build that rapport, so still build a genuine relationship with this individual, and don't be so just specific to wanting to get a job. Again, this is networking, and these are people that you will come in contact hopefully with again. And that extends to engaging and asking questions. So these are some small talk topics that you can consider when networking. Some small talk topics that you can discuss are current events, movies, books, maybe your media environment, but of course avoid anything that may be controversial. When it comes to networking, to going to an interview, to a job fair, you want to dress for success. So your clothes should be solid, dark, or neutral colors. Light colors can be worn underneath, as you can see over here to the right. You don't want anything too distracting when wearing something professional. You want everything to be tailored and in good condition, and of course wrinkled and lint-free. When it comes to shoes, it's better for closed-toed shoes or dress shoes, and them to be clean and neat. You don't have to spend a lot of money for a clean and professional look. And some tips, again, this also works within interviewing and networking, You want to make sure that your breath and teeth are clean. It's better to have a mint than to chew gum because that can be kind of distracting. You want to make sure that your cell phone is off or on silent. And then when you're networking or an interview, make sure you have a portfolio like this leather-bound one here, a professional bag, or a simple purse. Now when it comes to building a positive online presence, you want to make sure that you maintain professionalism over email and, of course, your social media. These are other ways that employers can learn about you. So make sure you clean up your social media account. So if you have any of your accounts set to public, just again, make sure that is presentable to employers. We highly recommend creating a LinkedIn account. This is a professional website that, again, you can still continue to network, to build your presence online, and to add any work experience, volunteering experience, and anything like that. We also highly recommend creating a portfolio or a website that, of course, is professional, where you can include some samples, any leadership philosophies, or anything that you hope to pursue in the future. Now when you're getting ready for the search, you want to create some professional documents, and the most common ones, of course, are your resume, your cover letters, and all that good stuff, but you want to maybe have some additional supplemental materials that can set you apart from the rest. You want to prepare for the interviews, and we do have some tips on our career development guide through pages 26 and 29, and it's also an appointment type that you can have with our office. You also want to make sure that your email and your voicemail is professional. You don't want to use an email that you had from when you were a kid. Same thing with your voicemail. It's always better to have your voicemail set up with your name and saying that you'll follow up with the person after listening to their voicemail. And another huge thing when it comes to getting ready for the job search is to identify 3 individuals who will serve as professional references. A lot of times on job applications, they'll ask for references themselves, and you'll have to list their contact information. So make sure that you identify those 3 individuals and also let them know. The biggest thing too with references is making sure that those references know that you are listing them as so. Now when you're getting ready for the job search, and if you are, let's say, interested in a specific organization, conduct some research on that specific organization so you can learn more and apply that to your application and in your interview. Again, employ some professional communication and figure out what sets you apart from the competition. So when you're searching and applying, never assume companies are not hiring or interested if they don't have anything posted. Always feel free to reach out to somebody within that organization just to demonstrate some interest. This is also a great way to network. And here are some interviewing tips. Make sure you're watching and being aware of your body language. So make sure you are not slouched over, that you maintain eye contact, and just demonstrate overall interest in the interview. Of course, you want to avoid bad-mouthing previous employers. This is often a common question that interviewers will ask you, so just make sure you're not saying anything poorly about your previous employer. And take time to formulate your responses as well. I think a lot of students feel that they have to respond quickly when they're asked a question during an interview. A lot of times there will be some interview questions that you may need some time to think about. So take some time to think about your response and then allow yourself to give a good response in return. Some good techniques to use with this is the STAR technique, and that is situation, task, action, and result. And also you can use your 1-minute commercial when you are asked the most common interview question of tell me more about yourself. Usually at the closing of an interview, the interviewer will ask if you have any questions. This is a great time to demonstrate that you know a lot about the company from the research that you've done prior, and make sure you ask those questions and you close the deal. After the interview, make sure you're sending a short thank you letter. We have some examples on page 31 of our career development guide. So just make sure in that thank you letter you're reaffirming your interests, re-emphasizing your key skills and abilities and strongest qualifications. Mention anything that you may have forgotten in an interview as well. Reiterate your interests and communicate appreciation for the interviewer taking the time out to interview you and review the application and all that good stuff. We highly recommend doing a handwritten thank you letter if you are going in person, but in remote interviews have become more common, so an email will suffice in that instance. And remember, during your interview, to turn off your cell phone or at least leave it in the car. You don't want to be distracted with your phone ringing or getting a text. Make sure you proofread anything for all or any materials that you're submitting, including your resume and your cover letter. Use your last names for when you're addressing the interviewer, unless they say that you can go on a first name basis. And always err on the side of being too conservative, and of course remain confident. These are some resources to help you from our office that can help in terms of, let's say with Big Interview, practicing your interview, and Handshake is one way to make an appointment with our office. And this is where you can view and access UWS Handshake and to complete your profile and look for jobs, and of course contact one of our career coaches. And this is our schedule for the virtual drop-in appointments. If you want to have your resume reviewed or your cover letter reviewed, you can come in for a drop-in Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Or you can have it scheduled through a virtual appointment as well, which is again done through Handshake, or you can give us a call. And then these are our resources. I hope this presentation was helpful to you in searching for a job, and if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call.